Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Weather HQ. Today, we're going to be talking about the flood threat potential as we head into later this week and into this weekend for parts of the Midwest, Ohio Valley, and Great Lakes region headed up into Canada. Won't talk about Canada specifically, but we will discuss the areas of the United States that could see very heavy rain, severe storms, and some flooding as we head into this weekend. So let's start with, first of all, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you do like weather-related content like this. You probably want to see the video first because if you just don't like the content, I don't want you to subscribe. I mean, come on. Anyway, let's get to this. So, tropical tidbits here. I have the GFS model loaded up. It's the American model. GFS stands for Global Forecast System. Anyway, I'm gonna advance this forward here. And here's Thursday. You see there's a little bit of rain where I'm highlighting here in the Midwest. And I'm going to advance that a little bit more, go back a little bit. We're at hour 66. This is 1 a.m. I want to say Central Time, June 25th, Friday. And could be some storms up and through here. We'll have to watch for that as well. But look what happens here as I animate this. I'm going to slowly do it. You'll see a kind of a narrow stripe right along this area here set up. And it does that for several days here. In fact, we're going to go back and it starts basically Thursday and then it's here. It continues through Friday, Saturday, and Saturday it could be quite stormy. So, or this is actually Friday night, so definitely got to watch for some severe weather across this area where you see a bunch of the yellows and reds. That's indicating storms, and usually the GFS model doesn't pick up on that unless they're severe. So we're gonna have to wait and see about that. Um, so here's Sunday. Oh, the line continues here. More storms here. The low pressure system, as you see, the L right there. Take the L. Uh, 1008 L. Oops, I clicked on something. Um, you see, we have a cold front down here, a new one that's formed there, and then the old stationary boundary that's turned into a warm front, and that'll be lifting out as the storm begins to lift out. It's kind of moving slow though. I'm not really sure. This might be with us for a while, but you can see all this green here across the east. A lot of thunderstorm activity here. Okay, a lot of thunderstorm activity. This goes through next Tuesday here, and I wouldn't argue that this is not part of that storm here. That storm is going to be gone, and then we're going to transfer into a new pattern with, afternoon thunderstorms bubbling up as they please. But yeah, that's basically the general overview. Let's go back. I'm gonna rewind this, and then I want to animate the total precip. Okay, so this thing. I'm just gonna let it load for a second because if you don't, it's gonna keep spinning, and then we can't see it. It's just a mess. 60 hours. Okay, well I'm gonna advance this a little bit here. So here we go, 7 o'clock Central Time, June 24th. Not much going on here. This is before the main event, but here we go. Let's continue. Yeah, let's continue. We see the rain starting to pile up here across the central, Midwest, and Ohio Valley here, and these rainfall totals could add up through the next 7 days at least. We're gonna zoom in on this region. It might be best to use pivot all weather for this, but for this particular mile, I'm just gonna use tropical tidbits. Okay, so let's start with the greens here. The greenest of the greens. That is generally anywhere from 1/100th of an inch to half an inch. The teal colors here are half an inch to 2 inches, and we see a lot of pinkish purple colors here. That's generally 2 through as much as 6 inches. 6 inches plus is in this maroon color, and then yellow would be, I'll say, around 10 inches plus. And you see there's a little bullseye down here in southern Illinois with that 6 to 10 inches, and again here in northern Missouri as well. This is just one model, by the way. Um, Let me get these in order. Let's take a look at, oh, this is the wrong website. Okay. let's take a look at the European model since I have it up here. And I'm gonna loop this forward here if it'll cooperate with me. Here, oh yeah, here we go. Um, all right, so we're gonna go forward through here. We're at Saturday here, and you see there's already a lot of rain here. I can highlight over this too. Look at 4 or 5 inches in some of these yellow areas here. I'm gonna keep on going through here, and we're gonna go all the way through the next 7 days here. And look, and let's see. Um, I think 2 inches or more is considered a lot of rain. For some reason, it's only 1 inches, and I'd say that's probably the southeast where they frequent rain a lot, especially the past several years. But anyway, I digress. Um, so the color palette, how that works here is the green is still like it's like a tenth of an inch to half an inch. The blue colors are half an inch to an inch, and the purple, pink, whatever you want to call it, is 1 to 2 inches. Red is 2 to 4 inches, and yellow through probably I'll say an orangish brown color, 48 inches, and then that orangish brown color through dark brown is going to be 8 to 15 inches and 15 inches plus, since this only goes up to 15 inches. But look, there's a lot of areas here, 4 inches plus in the yellow and brown. In fact, I highlight over some of these areas here in northern Indiana. We're seeing like 7 inches at the highest, 7.5 inches, and then back in Missouri, same deal. So I mean, it's almost 8 inches of rain here. You gotta remind you, a lot of these areas, especially in the Midwest, only see about 2, 3, maybe 4 inches an entire month. This is all through the next 7 days. 168 hours is 7 days. Who else who didn't know? Um, and this is a lot up and through here. This would come with rounds of storms, though. I doubt there be anything persistent, but we'll see. Any persistent downpours, not necessarily persistent rain systems, but the downpours themselves might cause flash flooding issues within these areas here. And it's going to shift around. It's going to move around a lot. In fact, let's see, we're going to just click on 168. We're going to look at the model trend loop. And this started here. Um, let's see, this is Saturday's runs for the next 7 days. Actually, more than 7 days. It's like 10 days here. I digress. But yeah, you can see there's still that yellow stripe there, and then across the southeast, that's from Claudette, Tropical Storm Claudette. It's gone now. Not gonna worry about that. And then what just happened? Okay, I advanced the wrong. I hit the wrong key. All right, here's the right key, and you see more of that rain is concentrated across the south now. And oh my. Okay, it keeps. I'm not sure what's happening here. I'm so sorry. We're just gonna move over it as I talk. So let's go to this is Saturday night's run, and the rain is concentrated across the southeast here, non-Claudette related. Although this might have something to deal with these storms that were that came through here and brought all those tornadoes to northern Illinois and Indiana Sunday night and Monday morning. And then the next run here, we see it's still concentrated across the southeast. This rain up here in the Great Lakes area near Lake Michigan, Iowa, Illinois, that's still from the thunderstorm threat. And this is Sunday afternoon's run, so it'll still show that because this came in right around the time the um, Sunday night run came in. Okay, so here we are. This is Monday during the day here. This is when I kind of started to notice trend. Um, Look at this. It's just a nice little stripe here of very heavy rain. There's some browns up and through here. 5, 6, 7, 8 inches. I mean, we can't rule out these amounts here, but it's going to be very localized too. Usually, not the entire area gets like double-digit rainfall amounts, unless you get like a rare tropical situation like Hurricane Harvey in Texas, but that's completely different. We're going to digress. And in the next run here, you see it shift a little bit towards the north and kind of move on its axis a little bit. Like what I mean is like instead of being more of like a 45-degree diagonal. It's more of like a 60-degree diagonal, if that makes any sense. And we still see those heavy mounts here. Look at this, 11 inches as a bullseye here in Missouri. We keep seeing trends like this. We're in for quite a rain event. Maybe not 11 inches to a foot, but we're definitely going to see some flash flooding issues and flooding issues in general in this area, as long as the severe threat I'm anticipating, and many other weather bureaus are starting to anticipate at this point. Another one here, it also shifts it a little bit farther to the north. It's all going to depend on where the cold front sets up here. But as you can see, as I highlight over here, I had just had it. Um, well, you can see 7.91. That's very close to 8 inches of rain here. That's a lot, especially for this area here. Um, the rain really should be across the northern Midwest. I'm talking about in terms of the drought that's going on here. It's really bad drought. I think that it should be farther north, but it's all going to depend on where the cold front decides to set up at, and it may turn into a stationary boundary if as it meets a second system here. But yeah, that's what's happening there. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the loop, and we're gonna look at some more models. If this will cooperate with me. Come on. All right. Um, so let's click into. Um, let's go to the Canadian model. This is usually a model that over exaggerates things here, but it's still good to look at for a general area of where we're gonna see this flooding threat. So I'm gonna advance this forward, and this one is a very interesting take here. I'm not sure how to really respond to that, but it just has this huge area of brown here, which is probably not gonna happen. We know how long it'll have to rain and how hard it'll have to rain in this area for that to be the case. Pretty long and pretty hard. Unless you live along a river, then that could cause some serious issues long before you even get to these amounts. But yeah, 10, 11 inches, I'm sure isolated areas, and probably not from a northwest to southeast direction. It's probably going to be more of a southwest to northeast orientation like we saw with the last run, but last model, the European model, but we'll see. And we'll get another one that is, I'd say, semi-reliable. I haven't really used it for precipitation forecasting, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes. This one only goes out through the next 6 days instead of the next 7 days. But you can see there it is again. That stripe. It's a little bit farther north than the last couple of models, but you can see brown 8, 9 inches. This could be a historic flood threat. All right. Um, but yeah, really high amounts. Kind of, kind of mind blowing. Although I don't want to overhype this because it's still several days out. Today's Tuesday as I'm recording this, and Thursday and Fridays when the event's gonna start. It's gonna go through the weekend, but even to a little bit of early next week. So just keep close tabs here, and I'll update you guys as we get closer in time and as new data comes in. What changes, what doesn't change, and what threats are, what threats have increased and what threats have decreased here. So we'll look forward to that as well. Okay, so the blend here, National Weather Service blend, this is taking every single model that I've showed, plus several others, into account. And this only goes through the next 10 days. Well, all we need is the next 7. And here is the 7 days. Now, these generally favor the lower end because it's a blend, and it varies the areas where the heaviest precip sets up. So when you blend it together, you're not going to get crazy high amounts unless it's all concentrated in one area. I'll show you, for example, down here, you'll see 4 or 5 inches from the remnants of Claudette, and that's because they all know that the system is there and there's going to be very heavy rain in that area. Over here, however, it's more scattered in the Midwest. You can see there's a big area of purple, massive area of purple actually. Excuse me. And then the red across much of Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Iowa as well. This is going to change though, I guarantee it. But you can see the highest amounts around 3 inches. Widespread 1 to 3 inches, basically, is what I'd say here. But we cannot rule out those isolated amounts of 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8, 9 inches under those areas that see the most persistent rain. Sorry, I zoned out there. So now let's take a look at the Climate Prediction Center, and we'll look at the 6 to 10 day outlook. I'm just gonna go ahead and click on it. So as you can see here, next 6 to 10 days, it favors drier than average conditions over this area. Excuse me, that was a little dry. Um, and has the heaviest rain actually concentrated along the northeast and southeast. But my theory for that is that that's where the cold front will be as it after it passes through the Midwest and Great Lakes region. Although we look at the 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook, and we see how it's kind of just shifted a little bit further to the northwest, and the drier than the below average precipitation is more confined to the northwest and the far northern tier of the United States. Um, Not really sure what to think of this. I think it's just going to be very showery, very thunderstorm activity here, and the heat might return as well. But that's a separate story. I'm not going to get too far into that. Um, so now I just want to look into, let's see, the drought monitor. This, okay, let it load here. It's been a really bad drought across, especially the southwest. You can see here. Um, the southeast, though, no drought, basically, especially across southern Texas, southern Louisiana, where they've been getting pummeled by storms this spring, and as we've transitioned into the summer. Let's look at the west first, and you can see a good portion of the west is under some portion of drought. In fact, try to find an area that isn't highlighting some shade of yellow, orange, red, or dark red. You see like a very little area here in Montana. I'll click on it actually. And yeah, just a very little area here and another one over here. But that's about it. We're not going to go into detail region by region, but that's a general idea. And then across the northern interior here, the Dakotas here, they've been getting very neglected here. I'm not sure there's much relief in sight either for this. We would need like a high pressure setup in the plains so thunderstorms can go up and over the ridge and they can drop southeastward. And this would also benefit the eastern Great Lakes region, where they also have a severe drought going on. Some areas starting to get extreme, severe, excessive. I'm not sure what the categories are. Oh, they're down here. Extreme is bright red, exceptional is dark red, and orange is the bright orange is severe drought. Across the northeast, drought forming here, but I think they'll get plenty of rain chances here. So maybe they can knock out some of this. Not all of it, but some of it. And then across the southeast here, we have not that bad of a drought here. We've seen a lot of rain. Claudette's probably going to help a lot of the drought here in the Carolinas. So that's good news for them. Um, South Florida, you need a miracle. This is their wet season, so if you're not getting much rain this wet season, you're not going to see an improvement in that drought. In fact, it's actually going to get worse, unfortunately. But we'll see how that goes. But here's the monthly drought outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, CPC. And you see the brown is where the drought persists, and that's much of the west and even some of the northern tier. And the yellow is the drought development likely. You see that in a couple areas across the northwest. This tannish color, beige, the drought remains, but it improves. Which you see that across eastern New Mexico and western Texas. And then drought removal likely not a lot of areas here. We want to see more areas. We're going to see a lot of the west to remove that, but we're probably not going to see that, unfortunately. But the east here, I definitely think this will get removed here in the Carolinas and parts of Virginia. That will get removed because, well, one, Claudette, and we're about to head into a very stormy pattern. That's going to help out as well. And in South Florida as well. And these little scattered areas here in Texas will also see that removal as well. So that's a plus for them. And one more thing, I want to look at the seasonal drought. That's not actually one more thing. There's actually one more site to check out here. But The seasonal drought outlook. More or less the same, I'd argue. A few more, drought rebellion areas here. That's unfortunate, and then drought removal areas here a little less scattered, and drought persistence more abundant, unfortunately. Another map, soil moisture. Oh, they just moved. U.S. monitoring. Blah, blah, blah. It says, I guess saying this is the percent of normal, or this is the millimeters. I don't know. This is not the one I'm used to seeing. This is, you see very high soil moisture across the southeast and the east, but not much, if any, across the desert southwest. And that's all I'll say about that. All right, let's look at this website, the Weather Prediction Center. This is very good for forecasting rainfall events. The first thing we're going to look at is the excessive rainfall. And we'll start with Thursday since that's what we're talking about here. You see an area in Iowa and parts of the Midwest here is highlighted for excessive rainfall. The slight risk, the yellow there, 10 to 20%. Usually these are very localized. I'd say once you get to the red, then you have a likely chance of happening, 20 to 50%, and then high, which rarely happens, very rarely I've seen high. Pink, 50% or greater. If it's a very small area, it's almost guaranteed you're going to flood there. That's just how it is, or at least from what I've seen. So let's take a look at the quantitative precipitation forecast, or the QPF, and the next 1 to 3 days. Next let's just go through 7 days, and they've increased it from earlier. It wasn't that high earlier, but yeah, the greens go through about half an inch, and the blue goes from half an inch to an inch and a half. But you can see, oh, the abundant reds here. Oh, the purple, by the way, is inch and a half to 2 inches. But all of the reds, um, I'm gonna say around 2.5 inches is where we had the darker reds and the brighter reds, as we head up through 5 inches. And then the orange area here is 5 to 7 inches here. So yes, there's a lot of rain in the next 7 days here. That's the point I was getting at, and we're gonna have to watch this closely because this could cause quite the problems here for some people. One more. I know I said one more a while ago, but I promise this is the last one. The Storm Prediction Center. Okay, so we don't have much data right now to work with for that weekend flood threat, but we're gonna start with day 3, and you see they have highlighted a slight risk of severe thunderstorms across the central plains here, and marginal across the um, upper Great Lakes, western Great Lakes area as well. Oh yeah, and this really light green here. This is just regular thunderstorms, non-threatening unless you count lightning as a threat. But yeah, you can see a pretty huge area, as we usually do at this time of year for thunderstorms. So yeah, this is the severe threat we have here. The probabilistic 15%, 5% here. Remember, it depends on whether or not that severe thunderstorm comes through your area or not. Everybody's like, oh, this was overhyped, but no, somebody got that really bad weather. It just wasn't necessarily your area here. Alright, so that concludes the video here. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more videos like this. If you like this content, please leave feedback down below in ways I can improve, or things you'd like to see in the future, areas you like to cover, weather events you like to cover, or just general questions about weather in your area here. I'm going to be real with you, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it and be like, oh yeah, that that's definitely going to happen. It's going to be nice weekend. Blah, blah. No. Or, oh yeah, I know for sure that this is going to happen on this date. No. You guys need to know the weather for sure. And if I do not know for that date, I'm going to straight up tell you, I do not know. Do not spam. You will be blocked. Um, But this is the end of the video. We want this to be a happy ending here. Again, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.